Hey guys, I just wanted to shoot a quick little introduction to this video before we get into the hows and do's and don'ts of installing a septic system. And basically, in the course of doing business over 30 plus years, I meet a lot of different types of folks as customers, and through the course of doing their jobs, and a lot of them are repeat customers, you end up developing friendships with them. In this case, I was working for Bill Bowden, and he came to be a pretty good friend, and was involved, had a lot of hands-on experience helping me do the job. And anyway, long story short, right after we completed the job for him, he was diagnosed with cancer, and he just passed away last May. So I wanted to dedicate this video to him, Bill Bowden. I miss him already. He was a good guy, and I'm sad to say that he's passed on. Had a really tough fight with cancer, and it finally took him down. I hope that, and he appears in the video in the very beginning. He's the guy that is backing up the truck that's delivering the cement tank, has the camera hanging on his neck. So that's Bill, and he was a master builder. He's building that little house there. His plan was to retire there with his wife, rent that house out for Airbnb to have a little income. And unfortunately, he didn't live to see that happen. But so let's, I guess, really it boils down to you got to take a little time out. I'm really guilty of this. I worked so many hours. I really don't have much time for circling back around to keep in contact with folks that I build friendships with. And it's hard enough just to keep up with my own kids and close family. But Bill, here's to you. I hope this video helps some folks out there learn a few tips and tricks on how to do this, so they can hopefully do their own job, or know what they're looking at when they're having it done for them, so they can ensure that they're getting it done right. And anyway, let's get into it, and thanks for watching. So here is our septic tank, just coming in for delivery. A little bit tight up here on this sharp turn. I think he's going to be able to make it. There we go. So watch that stinger doesn't hit the roof. Real quick, lines coming out of the house right there in the middle. Here's our hole. We already got the dimensions for the tank, so we dug the hole yesterday, so it'll be ready for delivery. Leveled out the bottom. The dimension they gave us on the inlet to the tank was 56 inches from the bottom of the tank, so we dug the hole deep enough to set the tank down in there and have fall into the inlet. Should have about 3 inches of fall in 10 feet, which is more than enough. Is he pretty well centered there? That boom will shift sideways too. Now he'll want to get right up there. So LK Lehman is supplying our tank for us. Haven't had a concrete tank supplier here that we knew about for quite a while, so this is the first concrete tank I've used in a while. We've been having to use plastic. Much prefer the concrete.
Squeeze in when you pick them up.
There's a much nicer tank, a lot less likely to collapse if a car drives over it. Easier to install.
Make things difficult. Yeah.
You don't have to fill them with water to backfill the hole around the tank.
Hudson double checking his workmanship. He's a pretty meticulous guy.
So that's how a concrete tank is set, and I can't go much smoother than that. We've gotten down there yesterday and leveled the bottom of that hole and set the tank in, checked with level. It was perfectly level both ways. Doesn't usually go quite that smooth, but it's a pretty simple process. Next will be, we're in Mariposa County, so they want a distribution box rather than RV valves. I'll go over the difference later in this video. But for the purpose of this job, we're going to be installing a distribution box. I prefer RV valves, but you have to do what the county requires, and every county is different a little bit. So here we're just backfilling the tank a little bit so nobody can fall down in between the tank and the wall, you know, the dirt wall, just to make it a little safer job site. And then we're going to continue on out with our trench to go to the leach lines. Next will be determining the bottom of the outlet hole height in relationship to the trench using a laser and a grade stick, so we can determine exactly where to put the distribution box here at the end of this little trench I just dug. Once we've done that, then we'll have to determine what the depth of our leach line trenches need to be so that we can get the proper amount of rock under the pipe. And I believe it's a total of 42 inches of rock, 36 inches of rock under the pipe, then the 4-inch pipe, and then another 2 inches of rock over the top of the pipe. So it's a total of 42 inches of rock.
Counting.
All right, so now what we're doing is we're figuring out the depth of our trench for the leach line. We figured out what the bottom of our the height of the bottom of our pipe going into the distribution box, coming out on the outlet side of it. We figured the bottom level of that with the laser, and then the permit requires 36 inches of rock under the pipe plus plus the pipe, which is 4 inches in diameter, and then 2 inches of rock on top of that. So we need a total of 42 inches of rock in the trench, plus a foot of cover. That puts us at 55 inches deep from the surface of the ground. And that really is factored from the height of the outlet on that distribution box. So we'll actually end up with a little more cover than that, because we've got to make sure that the bottom of the trench and the rock under the pipe and everything is going to be low enough to where you fall throughout the system. Hopefully that makes sense. So what I'm going to do right now is to take my site level. I'm going to take a shot right here where we're starting with our first trench. We're going to do two 55-footers. Permit asks for 110 feet total, so we're going to do two 55-footers. I'm just going to shoot over that ladder over there. And I'm shooting right at the bottom of that yellow cap on that ladder. If you want to pan over to that, Josh, just show that ladder there. So what I'm going to do is make a mark here for my trench. There we go. Kind of. Alright, so we're starting right here. We're shooting to that ladder. Hopefully my tractor's not in the way.
Get too much of an angle. Hey, you want to?
Yeah, let's go ahead and stretch out 55 feet of T. Got a 100-footer? Or?
Yeah.
Keep the sweat out of my eyes.
Wherever he wants to.
Alright, so just using the site level, which is accurate within an inch or two, gives us a rough outline of where our trench is going to go, so that when we go down our total depth, it'll be fairly level, pretty much the same depth all the way through the length of this trench. In other words, there's not going to be certain areas of the trench that are way deeper than others. Try to keep it parallel to the hill as much as possible, just so you don't end up with really deep spots. All right, so we'll get started digging. That's great. Now Is it coming up as it comes closer to me, or is it about right?
A little low right here, but this is Zach. That's still going up a little bit.
So as you can see, we're pretty much right in line here with our marks that we did, that we put down with the paint and the site level. There's the end of our trench. That's the mark for the end of our trench right there. And we're, you know, pretty much plus or minus an inch or so on the bottom of that trench within level. As you can see, the trench has a slight tilt to it, to the left. That's just because I'm digging on a slope and I'm using my blade to level out my machine. Won't quite pick the machine up high enough to level it out perfectly. That really has no bearing at all, or no adverse effect at all on the leach line and its function. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this last little bit of trench here. Another secret little trick that I like to do, which helps level the machine on a slope like this, is when you put the blade all the way down, I don't know if you can see that, to hold the machine up, to level out. Let's see here, up here now it's all the way, machine's all the way up. That's not quite enough to get it perfectly level. What I'll do is actually track the machine one track at a time, let it kind of dig down into the ground on the high side of the slope. That's just to I don't know if you can see that track spinning there or not. And that'll bring it down, you know, a few inches closer to being level. All right. So I like to get in the trench and just run a stripe on the side of the trench with a tape measure, 36 inches, because the specs for Mariposa County on this particular system are asking for 36 inches of rock under the pipe. So we're going to put 36 inches of rock in the trench, lay our pipe, and then we'll put the other 6 inches of rock in. So I just make a mark on the high side wall of the trench at 36 inches with some orange paint. Now here's why I want to caution you guys. If you got any water coming in to your trench, anywhere, stay the hell out of the trench, all right? Because you may think you can get in there, make your marks and get out, and you'll be okay. And if it starts to cave in a little bit, you can move out of the way fast enough. You're kidding yourself. You're going to end up dead. I had to dig a guy out by hand about a month ago. Got buried up to his neck. It was a scary situation. I got him out within seconds of the rest of the thing caving in. He's lucky to be alive. So I will never ever go into a trench again that has any moisture coming in at all. That trench had some water coming in below where we were working. Don't get in them. I've learned my lesson. I'll never do it again. It's not worth anybody's life. So having said that, this trench is no water. It's good hard clay and decomposed granite. While we're talking about the soil, there's different types of septic systems. There's rock systems, there's infiltrators, there's septic pits. Up here in the mountains, generally we use rock systems, but when you have decomposed granite soil, which is kind of a sandier soil without the clay, you can get by with using infiltrators. And it's a little easier. You don't have to go. Getting the rock that we use for these systems is getting a little scarce, so inexpensive. So if you've got the right kind of soil and you can use infiltrators, a lot of times guys will go that option. It just makes it a lot easier. But in this case, we do have a lot of, you can probably see the red in the soil. There is some clay mixed in with this. It's also a decomposed granite, so it's kind of a sandy clay. Should perk just fine. And especially with a rock system, it's going to be a really good system. You should last this property for many, many years. So anyway, I'm going to hop down in here, make my mark so you can see what I'm talking about. And again though, guys, stay out of these trenches if they're wet. Bumble fingers. Alright, so now we're just gluing together 55 feet of pipe. Just doing it right out of the back of the pickup here, it's just easier. Let me see if I can, I'll just set the camera right here on this excavator bucket and you can kind of see how we're doing it. Blue's already starting to set.
You have to re-put it on again.
Lower your end.
Good?
Yep. Okay. How many sticks is that?
4, I think. Wait, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's 4. I'll probably do this one on the ground. Once you got it.
No, let's do it right there. It's easier to press it against that toolbox. Spin it. Back her up. Okay. Is that 5?
5.
There's 50. Alright, hold right there. We gotta do one more. So we put the rock in
at the end of the trench here before putting a little piece of perforated pipe standing up on end in the end so we can inspect it later. So now we got to dig this rock out by hand, which is a real pain in the rear end. But when you got Josh, it's not so bad. So, yeah, just dig that down in there, Josh, and then back to the, that's good right there. Just clear that, there you go. And just stand that right in there. Yeah.
Is we tall enough, or?
Yeah, we'll add some solid pipe on top of that. We'll cut it off at the rock level after we're done backfilling. So we'll go ahead and throw some rock around it. Should I get a little more rock to put in around there? And I can maybe throw a cap on it just so no rock goes down in it. Let me get the cap.
You want to cut this first, or?
We got to cut 5 feet off.
That's what I said. Should be right there. I say right there.
Right there.
Was that right?
Yeah, you're pretty damn close. Hold the cap up here. All right. I use gray 711 PVC glue for all my plumbing and septic, conduit. I always use the gray, and the reason is it never dries out and gets brittle. It stays flexible. The other wet and dry stuff, if it's really critical, especially on a water main or something like that, you're going to have problems with it sooner or later. This stuff won't do that. Don't go clearly in. I just don't want to knock a bunch of dirt in the trench. Try to keep the rock as clean. There we go. Put the letters up. If you can see that line of print, that's a good reference to use to make sure you've got the pipe in your trench correctly for a leach line. That keeps the holes down. So put the line of print directly up.
You want to slide it this way?
You need it that way?
I've got about 3 feet.
All right, bring it to you and then center it in the trench. Pretty damn close, guys. So let's go ahead and drop this 4 inches.
Why don't you set it on top of that pipe right there?
Should put us where we want to be.
Why don't you sit on top of that pipe, make grade, and then... I'm not straight up and down
I
either.
can't tell if it wants to go up or... There we go.
So you're sliding kick that way.
We're good.
Get high.
Low.
Just a hair high.
Let's go ahead and hook it up to the D-box.
What do you need? I need a Y.
Gonna need, no, we just need 245s.
What are you gonna run
And
together?
and a couple little like 6-inch pieces of solid.
The 245s.
Yeah.
How you gonna hook it to the other tank? The other line.
Well, it comes off the side of the box.
Oh,
here.
okay. So 245s.
There
Is
we
that
go.
half?
Yeah, that'll work for the downspout.
Or is that long enough? That's per.
That'll work. That perf will work right here. Give me that piece of perf. 4-inch line. That's perfect. And then 45. Where's that glue at, buddy?
Way over there.
That's gonna be too. It might be about right, actually.
What else you need?
Yeah, well, let me just get this together. Figure it out as we go.
Did you say you needed a 5 degree?
I don't think so. Okay, there's that. And we're gonna need, where's that tape? 17-inch piece.
How long?
17. This will work right here. Oh, he's down there. Sounds like to me. That's probably the guy that sold me the laser. He wanted to come by. Okay, let me see camera. These distributor box, is it on?
Yep. I believe so.
Okay, these distributor boxes have a little rubber plug for different sizes of pipe. So you just want to make sure you cut it out the right size. We're using 4-inch pipe. That's 2-inch, that's 3-inch, that's 4-inch. Hopefully it shows on that film because it's just pure black.
What is it? Athena want me to call her?
Huh?
Athena wants me to call her.
Not exactly pretty cut. There he is.
How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. How are you, Mark? Mark, this is Bill, the owner.
How you doing, buddy?
Josh,
Hey,
my
Bill.
helper.
Nice to meet you. Josh, nice to meet you.
Mike's the guy that sold me the laser.
Oh, it was a long day. What time do you get up usually?
What time I get up?
2 or 3? Do you get up at 3:30? Because today I got up at 4:30. It felt good. I'm a 6 o'clock guy, but at 4:30 I'm going, yeah!
Good. Hold this pipe up 2 inches.
It's all right. Just as I bring the rock in, just keep shimming the pipe up at the end, like you just did.
So here's the pipe.
Alright, so we got our inspection port down in the bottom of the trench. Just a piece of perforated pipe, 4-inch perf. Standing straight up on end at the end of the trench. Come up to the top of the rock, and then we switch to the solid pipe to come on up out of the ground. I'll put some glue on there, Josh.
Yeah, well, how's one?
Yeah, well, I just glue it and then cut
Well,
it.
it's easier to cut it laying down instead of this way.
Alright, suit yourself. Leave it about a foot above, right by where your thumb is there. No, not that high, where it was. Yeah, right there is good. Maybe a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower. Right there. Anyway, what that allows you to do is measure down with a tape measure how deep the water is in your leach line when it's in use. And if you start having a problem with your plumbing backing up into the house, you can come out here and check the port, see if it's overfilled with water. Oh, Josh. What am I do with you, man?
Fire me. I don't know where the shit
There you go.
is.
Throw some glue on there. That's good. Get that burr off there. All right. So like I was saying, that just allows you access to reach down in there with a tape measure and measure how deep the water is in your leach line. Sometimes it's nice to know, especially in a real rainy, wet winter. If you suspect it's getting overloaded, you can measure how much water's in there, and it may prompt you to switch it to the other line. So we have most of these septic systems have 2 of these lines, and most designs allow you to switch from one to the other. Here in this county, they have it set up to where you're using them both at the same time, which is kind of not the way I like to do it, but that's their code, so that's how we build them. You know, we could put RV valves in here too after they're done if you want. Alright, next step after we get the rock over the pipe and the pipe is leveled is the paper, put a layer of paper on top. So, what we're doing here. I'm going to just roll this out. I have no idea what I'm filming. You can't see with this sunlight. Just roll it out. So we just roll it out in the trench and then just kind of throw some rocks and dirt on it just to hold it in place. See it there. Some rocks and clods. Not much, just something to hold it from moving.
Knife on you?
Yeah. Can't tear that.
Huh?
You can't tear that.
Tape?
Yeah, here we go. This thing's really super dull. It's easier when you put a rod through that thing. You there?
Yeah, start filling it.
Layer down. Let's get it centered on the trench. That looks pretty good. And knife again.
Do we need to do extra or not?
Just cut it off right there. Right at that elbow. Alright. Cardboard you can just go over. You can use paper, you can use cardboard, you can use newspaper, you can use straw, you can use any kind of biodegradable. Cardboard's great. It really doesn't matter. It just provides it decays and creates a barrier that keeps the dirt from sifting down into the rock. And from plugging up the rock, so that way the water will always percolate through the rock to the bottom of the trench. And believe it or not, it works really well. Keeps the silt from going down into the rock over the years. So, started today. What time is it, Josh?
I have no idea.
Well, we started at noon.
My watch.
We set the tank.
The chipper ate my watch.
Set the distribution box. Dug our trench. Put in the rock. Put in the pipe. Papered it. Put in our inspection port. And it's ready for backfill. But first, we have to get inspected by the county before we can backfill. So it just stays open for today, and see what time it is. Not that we were trying to get done in any record time or anything, but it is 4:40, so 4 hours and 40 minutes, including plenty of bullshit time storytelling. Not too bad. Got all that done. And now we got to go get another load of rock, 25 tons of leach rock to do the next line. It's a 50-ton system total.
So hey guys, if you like the content on this channel, well, you might check out our other channel. It's Father and Sons Investing. And it's all about encouraging your kids to think about their future and invest in their future. So check it out.